So, like, are there shakes involved, or like, what else you get?
There can be. That's like the best part about it. It's something. It's different. And all right. So, Casey, you know me. I'm a fat guy.
You're a larger gentleman.
We let's be real though. I am fat.
But you know, larger.
I've been saying it for years, and you know me. I've always been trying to try so many different things to try and change this. But I actually think I found something.
Really? Because that's exciting, man. What do you mean?
So, all right. So we were looking for affiliate links, and there was this app that I was trying. It's called Noom, Noom, and yeah, it was one of those things where it's a weight loss. It helps you with your weight loss, and it what it does is it breaks things down. Hey, can you move your mic back a little?
Yeah.
I think I'm getting caught. Yeah. So like, yep, there we go. See, I'm out. No, but it breaks things down for you. It really helps you with the psychological side of it. So like what it does is it gives you like daily lessons, personal coaching sessions, support groups. There's a tracking system for everything.
Oh, it does have a tracking system, because that's always important for me, because if I can't track it, I lose sight of it and it's gone.
It's got a great track, because I try like my Fitness Pal and all those. I always try to track everything, especially my intermittent fasting. This has a great tracking system to it. It helps you, like, you know, with choosing foods and things like that, and it helps you be a little more mindful. Like for me, I was raised by Depression era grandparents. You finish your plate. That's how it is. So like I was always
grateful for it.
I'm telling my kids, like, finish your plate, things like that. But me, I was always, and I saw food and I'm like, I can't let it go to waste. But that's not a good thing. I can't do that. And it's helping me kind of understand that better, because the thing is, it's not telling you that you can or can't eat this. You know, they don't believe in the good or bad foods. Instead, they like give you the knowledge and wisdom of making informed choices based on your choices in the past. You know, to help you fit like into a different lifestyle. I really enjoy it.
Okay. Man. I like that. That sounds awesome, man.
Yeah. So I'm starting a journey through that. I'm going to start doing it through TikTok, things like that, and kind of showing my weight loss along with the exercises that it's helping and like encouraging me with. And guys, I want you to know that, you know, we are affiliates. We're partnered up with Noom now. So if you guys want to join me on my journey, you know, maybe get a little healthier, lose a little weight, something like that, I think you should give them a try. You know,
I mean, I can always stand to be more fit. Getting older now, so it's always better to make sure to put the right things in so that the right things go out. Am I right?
Well, listen, there's a lot I have to take off. Really, the only thing you have to take off is that hat. But
I'm pretty sure this hat is what's crushing it.
That's fair. That is fair. But guys, if you do want to try Noom with me and jump on this, go on. Our affiliate link is in the descriptions, or it's all over thescenesnobs.com. We got them there. Sign up with them, and I think it's worth it. But go give them at least a look. Click on it and take a look if you want to join it.
So definitely check out Noom, y'all. That's Noom. Check out Noom.
And as for us, it's time to start the show.
Woo!
Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
Welcome to Scene Snobs Podcast, everybody. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by my partner in crime, trying to make me feel more like the skipper every time I see him, Casey the Madman Gilligan Plot.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate it as always, my friend. No place I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than here with you, my blessed warrior, in union and in all the great things that we do. My friend, my co-host, Mick Manhattan.
But I don't know what it is right now, but I really just want to take my hat off and just start hitting you with it. I don't always feel like that, but this time I do. I don't understand it. I don't know these emotions. I can't understand them.
It's amazing how it works out, because that's what most of my friends have said throughout my life.
Have you been wearing that hat before?
A lot. It's always this hat too. These bucket hats. I was a fan of bucket hats since like an uncomfortable 99. So I have worn bucket hats way too much.
An
They have never
uncomfortable
gone away.
99.
Many times, like jumping into pools with them, it was kind of my shtick. It was my armor, was the bucket hat. It was my way of always being able to have some sort of more absurd thing than my actual face. So that was my way of saying, look at how funny this is. Don't look at the nose. Just avoid it altogether.
And the nose isn't bad. You're
It's
just
horrible.
so hard on yourself. But the hat, I like how you call the hat armor. Yes, I get it. It takes away from them making fun of possibly anything
Everything else.
But it's like that hat looks like the type of hat that's going to get water balloons thrown at it. You're pulling it off now. I'm just saying 18, 19-year-old Casey, not so much.
No, he struggled with it. There were struggles there. Well, because there was only now it's like a settled out positive 170-pound body that I'm okay with. Before it was like a 120-pound rail that was just uncomfortable for everyone.
Remember, this is the guy that 3 shows ago said that he was prom king. I just want everybody to realize that.
It was 100% pity. It was 100% pity. They were like, we got to do something nice for this weirdo.
They loved you, and you know it. Well, guys, welcome. We got a lot to talk about on this show. There's some things that are popping up here and there. But Jason's here. I want to say what's up to Jason.
Jason, love you, buddy.
Casey's always on the fashion. Love it. What's up, my friends? He said the hat is crushing it.
Yeah, it is.
You guys, make sure you go, if you're listening to this at a later time, and go back and check out the hat. You got to see it. You should always wear those hats.
Check out 3 Geeks with Jason Taylor.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. It is a great show. And actually, to do a little bit of a plug for them, they made a big announcement this past Sunday on their show. They were always a 2-hour live show every Sunday. Mm-hmm. And now they said that they're going to be doing 1 live show a month. And they're switching back to audio only, which honestly, I got to say, that's a very cool move. Like, I think going back and doing that, just so, because then that way they can be more consistent when they're filming and stuff like that, rather than just always trying to have to be there for the same time with lives. I get it. It's called 3 Geeks, everybody, but if you haven't seen it, it's like 17 people.
Yeah, which is part of the joy, is seeing all those delightful faces.
100% is.
And everyone has a great opinion, and everyone always has really, they share the mics well.
Yeah, and they're still gonna do sometimes live interviews, but and new video interviews. But you should check out the 3 Geeks. They're good people. We like them. We always try to have a lot of fun. I usually end up arguing with most of them because there's just too many. You can't get along with everybody at the same time.
Which is great fun for me.
It is. It really is, because you do, because I'm the one that's not, because it comes back at me because there's 17 of them and we all have differing opinions. And I'm like, man, I just it's almost like somebody's like I have to use a different limb to block different people coming at me. It's just so crazy, but it is a great time.
A lot of energies.
Not bad energy, just a lot of
energy.
So go check them out. That was a lot of fun. Jason, he's been on the show before, so if you've listened or watched with us, you've seen him. And you will see him on the 22nd. 3 Geeks.
He's a snob.
Yeah, he is a snob, 100%. But yeah, 3 Geeks is going to be a part of our charity event. So that's going to be cool.
Heck yeah, it is. The 22nd is going to be fire.
12 hours, Casey. We did 8 last time.
I know, but 8 was on the heels of really bad stuff going on. 8 was a weird 8. That was a rough 8.
It was. That was a
thrash together. We put it together in what? You put it together in what, 9 days? It was obscene.
Yeah. I'm taking my time. I feel bad because all the shows keep messaging me to ask me questions, and I'm just like, I have time. It's not the same as the other ones where I feel like I'm frantic down to the wire. I'm working on certain things.
But that's the cool part, is the more stuff you're able to get done now, by the 20th, you'll be hitting me up like, bro, we're golden. And I'll be like, oh, thank God.
I'm just going to give times and links to everybody. We're good. It's our 3rd one.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing.
It's almost like we know what we're doing.
That's true. We do. It is. We more look like we know what we're doing. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, that's really what's important. It's all about the front.
But I'm setting it up now. We can just do our vignettes, our fun stuff in between. We host the first hour, host the last hour, and we're out. I told him, I was like, I don't want us in. I want us taking our breaks because I'm going to have to be behind the scenes anyway. And then,
I'll be very happy to pop in and be able to dance for everyone on occasion.
yes, very much so.
I'll do my best Judy Garland for everyone.
And I'm trying to get it where we'll be in the new studio area by the time we start that. So that'll be fun because we're going to be together, I believe.
Yes, we will. The 22nd, we will be in the same room.
And if you guys know anything, we're pretty good in the same room as we are, doing this remotely.
On occasion.
On occasion. I like that. So, Case, we're going to get to the thrillers and stuff like that, but I watched a lot of movies this weekend. Movies I've never seen
fire
before.
With your movie watching, man. You were texting me, and you were watching a lot of movies.
I had the house to myself, and I said, you know what? I'm going thrillers. And originally I was going to go from 1970 to 1999. Anything I haven't seen. Well, originally it was going to be watch all my favorites.
And also real quick, in case anyone is wondering what happens when Mick is alone home, it's just a lot of Jersey shorts and nothing else.
100%. 100%. Why do you think I'm doing Noom now? I passed by a mirror as I was like home by myself, and I realized very quickly, nah. I was like, I got to do this Noom. So, no, but I just, I sat at home. I had to work on the charity event. I had to work on a few other things, and do some projects around the house. But in between, and my family was gone from Thursday until Sunday night.
Sweet.
I watched 13 suspense thrillers in that time.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy.
That borders on varyingly, dare I say, you were marathoning. That was a straight up 100%. You committed.
Yeah. For me, I did commit. I went straight for it. And again, I went with all movies I hadn't seen before. Only one that I had seen, but not really.
Okay, which one was that?
Because it was Rising Sun.
Wait, what?
Well, I had seen it in the 90s, but it was one of those it was on, and I had seen it.
No, see, Rising Sun is one of those that I think Sean Connery, post Presidio, with the same haircut as Presidio, was really, really great in, but it also phoned it in completely, which was wonderful.
Here's my favorite part about it. I watched the Presidio right after, and you are completely wrong about his hair. Because I will give it to Connery in the Presidio, which came out before Rising Sun. He went full bald. He just did the horseshoe, which he committed to. In Rising Sun, he tried to have that Clooney cut.
That's right. Yeah.
And
which was that was closer to what's the one he does with Catherine Zeta-Jones? Entrapment.
Yeah, and that came out years later because Rising Sun came out in 1990, 1991. But I watched all these movies, but to kick it off. So technically I watched 14 new movies because I did watch Thor: Love and Thunder.
Okay.
So I did. There is a full review out. You guys can check that out. Have you seen that yet?
I have not.
Let me tell you something. It's pretty good. It's not great. It was a little tough.
Really?
Comedy was amazing. I'm going to pull in Stormbreaker.
I was going to say, you got Stormbreaker there. What do you mean, buddy?
Well, so, I love Thor. It is not a Dark World scenario. It really isn't. It's the second best Thor movie, in my opinion.
Okay, behind Ragnarok, of course.
Yep. I said this in my review, where Ragnarok had the perfect balance of drama and silliness. This one leaned harder on the silliness.
Okay.
And way too much Guns N' Roses. They played 4 Guns N' Roses songs in this. And they were the most, when they go to New Asgard, it's Welcome to the Jungle. It's all right, it's a little on the nose.
So you're telling me that you're not fucking metal?
I am metal. I'm just telling you It was way too much Guns N' Roses. It took me out of it a little bit.
All right.
So, but I mean, you can check out the full review. I just want to let you know. But it was fun.
Okay.
I just mean in the whole Marvel realm, it just didn't quite. It was like, all right, yeah.
That's been every movie this phase, though. That's been
Yeah.
every major project this phase. Everything that's come out this phase has been, look, I love Multiverse of Madness. It's one of my absolute favorite movies of all time, but that's because of Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
That's all that is. Beyond that, none of these movies have done anything to wow me. They're just good comic book movies. At this point, they've already established themselves as comic books. Now we're just getting more stories of comic book stories. That's all it is. We're not going to get anything groundbreaking, earth-shattering. It's just going to be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right, man. Well, I don't know about that. I think they're going to come back around because they're getting a lot of complaints about it. And they might come back around to, but if you remember, everything in the first phase really wasn't like together. It was all just coming together.
Yeah.
You just knew an Avengers was coming up.
Right. And then by the second phase, you were okay with it and you were along for the ride, but
Yeah.
they had a lot of growing pains they went through in that phase.
Oh, yeah.
And then by the third phase, well, now we get everything. Now we have Guardians 2. We have all these more exciting, fun stories because we've been introduced to all these fun characters. And then there's major drama and real stakes with all these characters. And then we get through the snap and it's ridiculous. And then Endgame and then holy crap. And then nothing is going to top that for our level now. Now it's just going to be more stories.
Yeah.
This is what X-Men wanted to do.
I think that's the good thing about this, though, is like they're switching people out. They're doing different things, bringing in new characters. It's going to be different. It's going to be a Marvel for like the younger, who are going to come up with it. Because let's face facts, 2008, I was in my 20s.
Yeah, same. Same. It's time to start reaching that understanding that some of these things are not being made for us. So it's very dangerous for us to start treading into that. It's not the way it was and not the way I remember it. And it's not my type of thing because it's not going to be anymore. Like Ms. Marvel is proof of that. And I love Ms. Marvel. I think
I really like it too. I like Ms. Marvel a lot. I think it's a good, strong show for what it is. Again, the physics of it kind of annoy me a little bit just because I think that everything should at least fit within the same reality and physics. Like people get hurt when they get punched in the face.
But we stopped that because America Chavez. So once we
she was banged up in that.
But once we introduce Nexus characters, that means there's now a whole new force that we have to introduce, and a character being born, built, and bred of the Nexus is different. You know what I'm saying? So we're seeing that difference between them. So it's going to happen. We're going to have these things that there's got to be give. Like every comic book, you've got to allow the give. If you don't allow the give and don't allow for disbelief, you're not going to enjoy the story because you're going to get so fixated on what's wrong with it. And that's kind of screwed up, man, because all we want to do is just enjoy a good story. And there are lots of great stories out there. So
it didn't take away from the story or what's going on. I really like Ms. Marvel, and I'm a proponent for it. Like a lot of people are bitching and moaning about it. I think a lot of that, again, is they don't. All right, let's call it what it fucking is. It's the shitty geeks. It's the geeks who are assholes about things.
Yeah.
And it's the guys and girls and everyone in between that didn't quite understand when things in comic books changed.
The perfection belittlist who all of a sudden has to start finding problems and creating issues because it's not their world and their ideas. Because it's something that they've loved and coveted for 30 years. How dare you change it and be something slightly different for someone else? Because representation and characters and different purpose and, telling someone else's story. The whole point is just cool shit to listen to around a campfire, man. That's what it all breaks down to. This is the whole thing is primally within us. It breaks down to that. We want the stories around the campfires. And that's what a lot of these are. And they're fantastic. They're beautifully done and they're wonderful. And it's something we should be giving to the younger generation, to the next generation going forward. And I love that's what Ms. Marvel in my eyes is. And it's doing it really well.
Yeah, and see that to go back to Thor. Even a lot of people, I heard a podcast the other day, kind of bitching and moaning about, it, and they're very. That's their goal. That's their gig. That's their thing, and that's fine. I'm not putting anybody down for it. You know, if that's your thing is to bitch and moan about those things, like
different strokes, different folks, brother.
But it's like the Doctor's a woman now, and that's just what they are. So that's fine. But like to take Mighty Thor Jane Foster and say, Marvel is now trying to make their female demographic happy, and it's like, well, no, that happened in the comics, and then they'll say to that, yeah, but that was just Marvel and the comic books making them happy. But like, first of all, they made the character of Jane Foster, which, let's face facts, they made her more interesting. They made her Thor, and then
she was boring as shit. No, in the comic book, she was a strong female character, but she was boring as shit human.
She was the type of character I look up to in comics, like being a doctor. Well, actually, no, she wasn't a doctor in the comics. I'm talking about the movies, but So, but even in the comics, like they took her, they made her Thor, and then they took Thor and they gave him drama, which he never had. It was like, dude just rolled in and was like, oh my God, okay.
That was the whole thing, man. That was the whole thing with Thor, is he would just show up, smash his cane, and be like, oh, there's Mjolnir, and here I am whooping your ass. Like, that was the cool part about Thor. The thing that screwed him up first for me was like Beta Ray Bill. Was like one of the first things that made him go, wait a minute.
Yeah. And for me, Beta Ray Bill, when he kind of put him on his ass, that was really good. And I enjoyed that as well. But yeah, for me, it was just like, I like what they did in the comics when they made her Thor, and they had Thor Odinson down and out, kind of having to figure out if he's worthy or not, and that whole spin on it, and then for her to die and take it out, and there's a great interaction in the comics between her and Sam Wilson as Captain America, and how they feel, a black man being Captain America and a woman being Thor, and how like their interactions and how they've been treated and such. It's a really well done issue, and I kind of wish they would have that for the movies.
Well, and anyone who wants to sit there and go, well, now they're becoming too political, and now it's too many socio issues. Those social issues are the reason comic books were created and the reason they were popular. The X-Men is one of the greatest correlations to racism you'll ever meet. It's just people who are different. That's all it is. And it's something that Stan Lee brought up repeatedly. And it's something that I think always needs to be shown and needs to be pushed hard, is people are going to show their true colors just because, well, that's not what I want, because I don't like the look of them. And unfortunately, it's a reality. And we're seeing more and more of that happen.
Yeah. And it, honestly, like, it's just bullshit. Just go out and enjoy the movie. And again, like Thor, Love and Thunder, I walked away from it really happy. It was such an entertaining movie for me. I didn't love it as a Phase 4 movie in Marvel. And there were issues. There were issues to it. It wasn't... It could get really silly at points.
You can check out Mick's full review at our YouTube channel to find out more.
And next up on the docket, just move on.
Let's just completely... No, we're done. That's it. That's all we're saying. Now let's just shift.
So, you know what? Let's do it. Zach Wilson, quarterback for the New York Jets.
Zach Wilson, a New York Jets quarterback.
He's just coming in. He'll be coming into the locker room starting this year. And so this dude is, I'm going to pull up some of these comments in a sec and read them off too. Because do
you have a picture of Zach Wilson? Like, I hope you have a picture of Zach Wilson. We have to show who
I'm going to pull up the Chive article I was reading. So he's a good looking kid.
He's an attractive young man.
He looked like me when I was at that age. You know,
he looks like nothing I've ever looked like.
His story is very familiar, so I'm just saying. So
he looks like Zach what Wilson, I think I look like in my dreams when I think I'm cooler than I am.
Yeah. Well, Zach Wilson's ex-girlfriend, Abby something, I don't even really care. She's a carbon copy of every blonde girl who dates a quarterback. In these pictures from what I see. And You could tell that because she's dating the Commanders, the Washington Commanders quarterback now. Was it Milne or whatever? Dax Milne or whatever his name is.
I
And they put,
don't know.
yeah, they put up a picture of them together, and that she's now with him after Zach broke up with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she calls him out, right?
Right.
She goes to, so Zach Wilson may not the biggest name in the NFL, but the hopes are high for him as the second overall draft pick in 2020 NFL draft. While he was not overly impressive in his rookie campaign, posting a 3-10 record. Yeah, but that's the Jets. It's not really him. Off-field antics have fans everywhere referring to him as the GOAT. Listen, if this kid is the GOAT for what he did, I should 100% be like, I should be the GOAT. Now I'm talking about off-field.
Yeah. Well, yeah, winning off the field. Yeah.
My on-field career is very different.
Yeah, no, I mean completely. It's part of the joy.
At that age, my off-field career was stellar, and people still don't know. Earlier this year, Wilson quietly scrubbed his social media of his ex high school sweetheart, Abby. This may not be out of the ordinary. I mean, we do see NFL players change their arm candy as much as they change their socks. But recent claims by Abby Guile, that Wilson slept with his mom's best friend are shaking up the NFL community. So somebody called her, because now she's with that dude from the Washington Commanders, Milne, right, whatever his name is. Somebody called her a homie hopper.
Okay.
I guess that means like friend hopper or whatever. So,
yeah. Buddy fucker, whatever you call him.
Yeah. So she wrote back, he was sleeping with his mom's best friend. That's the real homie hopper. So the Jets press put out, Zach Wilson has been about that Cougar life. And they retweeted Zach, who wrote Cougar Nation on his Twitter.
Awesome.
Milne and Wilson both attended BYU and were the 1-2 punch that led to the 2020 Cougars. Oh, that's right, because they were the Cougars.
They were the Cougars. Yeah.
Yes.
BYU Cougars.
I didn't even put that together.
And they're Mormons. That's Brigham Young University, big dog. Those are the Mormons.
Are they Mormon? Do you have to be a Mormon to go to that college? I don't know.
As far as I know.
I went to Full Sail University.
Dispensation, like, you're close enough to Mormonish.
You know what the regulations were to go to Full Sail University, Casey? You had to have a pulse, and not even all the time.
No, it was just money.
No, you didn't even have to have that.
They got paid somehow.
It's not a prerequisite. No, they'll just come after you. They'll be like, no, we'll give you the loan. How's that sound?
Yeah, we'll find you. Full Sail has ways to find you.
So the comments of this guy banging his mom's best friend, which good on you, buddy. But do your thing.
What does it matter? Good on her. If she's happy and he's happy, who gives a shit?
No, shut up. I don't want to do that.
If people are out there banging and they're happy banging, then that's fine. As long as they're not like, illegally banging or hurting someone.
Bullshit. She tried to call him out. She didn't need to put that out there.
Who, Milne?
She put that out there. She was the one that told everybody what.
Yeah, the girlfriend?
Yeah.
Well, that was malicious, and she can go fuck herself.
That's who I'm saying go fuck yourself to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that.
Now, I mean, Milne took her up, but whatever. I mean, that's kind of shitty. We've even had that on our own situation and it was shitty. And I will admit, I was the one that was the shitty one. So that's a story for a different time. Let's talk about
that's a story for another time. And then this happened. And now jump right to the next thing.
Change the subject.
Change the subject. Next.
No, this was my favorite. Somebody wrote, so this is the backfire of the century. Dax Milne posts an Instagram of Zach Wilson's longtime former girlfriend, Abby. Abby receives a ton of negative comments and attempts to defame Zach by outing that he banged his mom's friend. Internet. He got that dog in him. And now I'm going to share the screen because some of these are fucking brilliant. I fucking love these.
Why? What does it fucking matter?
because I want to do it. I don't care. Look at that. Zach laying next to a cougar. When Stacy's mom comes out.
Oh my God.
This one's about girl passed by. Zach when his mom brings best friends or friends over for book club. I want this shirt. If Zach Wilson rumors are true, it'll mark the first time the Jets have scored over 40 since 2018.
That is actually legit. That is a stat.
And then it's the Jets logo, but it says throw bombs, bang moms. Oh, we know where he's going. And this is Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson getting ready for his mom's book club.
who looks just awkwardly young.
Yeah, but he's a man.
But sculpted. I mean, yeah.
Zach Wilson meeting, in quotes, meeting the fans after each practice, and it's Billy from Stranger Things talking to Mike's mom.
I loved it.
So good. Zach Wilson's mom's friend in the Jets locker room after week 1. The picture, the guy and the girl in bed, she's wondering what he's thinking. He's probably sleeping with his mom's best friend, Zach Wilson. I hope she doesn't know I'm sleeping with my mom's best friend. Oh, wow. I found Zach Wilson's daily checklist to do. Chuck bombs, sing songs, date moms.
Boom! Check.
I don't know what's going on. It'd be a bigger joke, their relationship or your NFL career. And he said that to Dax Milne.
Lord.
Wasn't going to comment on it because it seems wild, but Zach Wilson is going to be the king in the locker room after now.
Well, I mean, is he, or is he going to be that uncomfortable guy that when, you try to invite him over Thanksgiving, you have to seriously consider, do I want this guy around my mom? My aunties, who knows, man?
Speaking from experience, I can say nobody cares.
Valid.
No, it all depends on the mom, I think. I mean, that's why I never got mad when people called me a motherfucker. Let's just say that.
Valid.
But anyway, Zach Wilson, good on you. Abby, Dax, good luck to you.
And now for something completely different.
Now, is that our segue? Are you bad segueing on me?
Yeah, twice now. I've tried. I'm trying to break from this one.
You can't do that. I'm the bad seguer. I'm the guy. No, but so let's get into some of the topics of what we were talking about. So, okay, so before we get into the thriller talk and things like that, I wanted to talk to you. So I was watching some Nickelodeon, not this weekend, but the weekend before. I was watching with Jack, and we were kind of watching some of the shows. And, I get the studio shows and kind of how they are now. This is dating myself, the iCarlys and then the Henry Dangers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all very studio show.
Pat and Sam and all that.
Yeah. Now, the Henry Danger I watched with the kids. It's funny. They do a lot of references to stuff when we were kids. But I miss the good old days, man.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. I have to be honest with you. Most of these shows, oh my God, I didn't even put it together. That's Salute Your Shorts, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, man. But think about it. Adventures of Pete and Pete. Salute Your Shorts.
Yep.
Hey Dude. Wild and Crazy
Nick.
Kid. Everything on Nickelodeon back when we were kids in the 90s seems like it was outside.
And TGIF. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, this is great. This is where you're going with it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So you brought this topic up, and I saw this topic, and I immediately read it as, back in my day, we were different. We were cut from a different cloth, and we were trying things and going places. The problem with that is, man, there's a lot of stuff out there. Like Bunked is one of the more popular shows. Jessie is one of the more popular shows. A lot of those shows that are always moving forward are outside. Like there aren't a lot of them doing that, but there's a lot more tech shows too. So as much as there's a Carmen Sandiego, there's now stuff where they do VR where you're inside of a machine. So they're like getting meta and making kids think about so many other different things. I too was upset because I was like, man, I miss when we had our special wildlife shows. Do you remember like the Disney Presents Wildlife and all the different ones back in
Mhm.
those days from even our parents' era? I loved those shows, and I thought about
Yeah.
those shows in this. But
Yeah, you went very different from what I was thinking. We probably should have talked about this before.
probably, but that's more fun this way because I watch what River watches now, like with I show her the Steve Irwin Crocodile Hunter. I'm able to
Mm.
share that part with her, and there's shows like that. They exist. The Hey Dudes still exist. They're just different because we don't recognize the language anymore.
Well, no, I mean, they don't exist. I've seen the ones that take place outside. You're right, and most of them still take place in studios. Hey Dude was legitimately on a cattle ranch. Like,
Fair, that was a dude ranch, but I mean, we also can just show our kids episodes of Yellowstone.
but think about all of the things. So I think, true, we could do that.
You could.
You'd be
like,
hey kids, gather around the old TV. We're going to show you what cattle farming was like.
This is how we protect our land.
Murder. So, like the Hey Dude, stuff like that. The reason I bring this up, like the Salute Your Shorts, now, not saying that they weren't on sets, but they did take place. They built things, and like when I say outside, because this is our summer camp, and oh shit, I forgot to put the backup. No, but this is our summer camp and things like that, and like we're kind of going with it. Snob a lot. So
welcome to Camp Snob a lot.
No, but it got me thinking, like, even like now I know what do you call it? Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Mm-hmm.
When they were not really in a campfire in the woods.
They weren't?
No. That was on a set.
Come on.
That was a set.
You're shitting me.
I am not shitting you. It's true.
Hollywood lied?
But what I'm saying is, I think I'm going more towards the adventure of the outside. Now, it's great that you show your daughter that.
Yes.
But your daughter's not just watching that. She watches that with you. Yeah. Now, we watch stuff, when I watch stuff with the kids too, that's like from our era, like the things we loved that kind of show that, but they don't get the adventure of the outside on these shows a lot. I blame Boy Meets World a lot for this. They started this train. These kids, where it's all inside, it's all condensed. Like, let's deal with their problems.
They have a treehouse outside, and they talk to Feeney across the fence.
Come on, man. Come on. Most of that
they occasionally go to Sean's at the trailer park.
That's true. They do. When he had another brother that we didn't know about. That guy had more brothers on that show than I care to count.
And then, I'm pretty sure he had 2 different dads. I'm just saying. Pretty sure throughout it all.
Well, no, he lived with Turner.
Turner. That's right. Turner took him in because his dad was a drunk who was a good man but died.
No. He wasn't a drunk. He just worked. I don't know. I don't even care.
And his mom was the drunk who left?
Yes. I think his mom was the one that left. The dad was like a truck driver and was always on the road. That's
what it was, yeah.
But he wasn't even interested in being a dad. Like they talked about him being a crappy dad. It is very time. I mean, now that's why I liked Boy Meets World, because it was like more realistic.
Yeah.
But when I'm talking, see, you're throwing me off, man.
Well, he wasn't a Patrick Duffy dad from like Step by Step. That was a very different dad.
That was a great house, by the way. I still love that house.
That house was incredible, bro.
That might be my favorite house in television history. Like that I would love to live in. First of all, had enough space for 6 goddamn kids and a cousin that lived in the thing. And she had her own salon in the garage.
And then there was another point in the garage where he still had, remember, Frank still had a portion of the garage where he could keep his shit.
Well, all right. So here's what I never understood. All right. Fuck it. We're changing up. Here's how this goes. The layout of this made no sense because, like, if you go from the front door and you go straight through into the kitchen and then into the garage, right? But parallel to that is the driveway.
Yes.
Where Cody lived.
Because they would walk over to that side, yes.
But how are you pulling into? So let's say it was still a garage. You're driving over the grass in the backyard where the picnic table and stuff is to get in.
That's why I always thought the garage like when they would walk straight across through the hallway, I thought that room was like the addition that they built on the front of the house or in the back of the house. And the garage was on the other side because she would take customers through there, through the kitchen.
Yeah,
Am I
that
wrong
made
in
no
that?
sense either. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I don't
know, was
understand
Al
this
was the
house.
hottest, right? Like we were all in love with Al.
I think Karen.
You were a Karen guy? Makes sense.
Karen was the brunette, right?
No, I thought she was the blonde.
No, that was Dana.
Oh,
No.
that's right. That was Dana. So Karen was the brunette. Yeah.
Was she?
Karen Burnett now.
Now I can't remember who was who. I remember, and it's the only reason I remember it. Brandon Call, I think, was the one who played JT.
He was JT. Yep, Brandon Call was JT, and then Sasha Mitchell was Cody.
And I just remember him because he was the kid. He was the kid in Baywatch. He was Mitch's son.
Yep.
And he was also the kid in Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Yep. Bravo.
Yeah, Dana was the older sister. Karen was the middle sister. Al was the little sister.
Yep.
But she belonged to Frank.
Right.
The two daughters belonged to Carol.
Dana and Karen were with Carol, and also the young son, who was the nerdy son.
No, the middle son, Mark. I can't believe we're doing this. The middle son, Mark, was Carol's son. Yeah,
right.
He was the middle one. He was the nerdy one from Beethoven. Yes. And then JT and the little kid Brendan or whatever his name was, when he didn't become cute, when he wasn't cute anymore, they got rid of him.
Yeah, he was boosted, man. They totally kicked him out because he was the cute little kid who was always blowing shit up.
It was, yeah, that whole thing. Like they kicked him and Judy were living in like a void somewhere. Judy from Family Man.
Judy.
It just kicked them to the curb so fast. And they kicked Judy to the curb on Family Matters. Like as soon as what's the little nephew became really cute. RJ or something like that.
As soon as the nephew was killing all the lines, that Judy was gone, man.
And I blame what's her name, Raven Simone for this.
Okay,
because she started that trend. Well, no, actually, no. I'm not going to blame her.
I don't know why you would blame like a child actor, but go ahead, try it.
Not really blame. Well, they started the cute kid trend. Now you had Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman was a regular. It was based around him.
Yeah.
In that cuteness.
I'm sorry. Do you want to really go back? Because Shirley fucking Temple.
Yeah. Okay. There was always cute kids. Cute kids, I guess, were cash cows for the film industry.
How about who's the fucking dude from the 30s? Yankee Doodle Dandy.
The James Cagney?
Yeah, James Cagney started as a child actor.
No. You're thinking the wrong guy. You're thinking of Mickey 100%.
Rooney. I said it and I went, no. Who's the super racist one from Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Is that Mickey Rooney?
Mickey Rooney was a childhood actor.
Mickey Rooney played the Asian man in
the terrible.
I'm putting that in quotations right now.
The terrible Asian man that they literally. I mean, that's what they called him. He was awful. He was the most racist shit ever.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. Well, let's just say I don't even know if that was most racist on screen. It was pretty bad. But there's so many things that were bad. Was he the guy that did that?
Yep, Mickey Rooney.
I believe. Oh yeah, and oh man, that is not. It is straight up like Irish Mickey Rooney as Mr. Uniashi.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And oh my God, so isn't Uniashi a Japanese name?
Yeah.
So if that's a Japanese name, wasn't it all Chinese decor? I need to go back and rewatch this movie, but I think it was all Chinese decor.
You mean super fucking racist?
That's even more racist.
Okay, hold on. Back in whatever 1964, when that fucking movie came out, let's be honest, Oriental was a term, and it was legit, and John Wayne meant it.
Yeah, but all right. But here's the thing, and I am not defending it by any way, shape, or form. Oriental, like my grandmother
carpet.
used that, and she
It's a
did not.
rug.
What?
Oriental is a fucking rug.
I understand that, but that was a term that was used. I remember hearing it as a kid from many older people, and they did not know. Now, again, I'm not excusing it.
That's fair. No, that's
I'm
fair.
just
Right?
saying,
Knowledge is power, and we were fucking stupid. So yeah, I get
100% stupid. Look at Breakfast at Tiffany. I'm not. Yeah, you're 100%. How did I not get notified you were live? I don't know. We're live every Tuesday. I watched you guys yesterday. Figure it out.
Well, it's one of those weird things where I don't even know what time it is. I had such a beautiful night as everything was ending. It was gorgeous out here. It was
I just
beautiful.
looked at the screen to make sure I actually made sure we went live.
For some reason, I thought we were at 9:30. I don't know.
But here's the stupidity of why me checking to see if we were live. So we've tried to do plot roast like 4, 5, 6, 9,000 times now.
Couple times.
How many times have I forgotten that that to hit record and we've gone like 10 minutes? Well, actually, we did an hour. We did a full hour once.
Do you mean total timestamp?
Yeah.
Or just because we've had a few times where we got about 5 minutes in and we caught ourselves and went, hey, it'd be a good idea to record right now. But nothing was worse than going, all right, let's hit it.
Dude, the first episode, we went the full episode and we were like, that was awesome, man. That was great. And I forgot to hit record. Oh, God, that was the worst. But here's the thing. I just pulled up a comment from somebody watching, from Kathleen, a friend of ours, watching. And then I went to check to see if we were actually live if I hit the button. Talk about
really
stupidity.
Hope we were.
And that's why we're stupid. But Kathleen says it's YouTube's fault. And let me tell you what, thank you for saying that, Kathleen, because I'm going to tell you guys, hit like, hit subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell to know whenever we go live.
And please make sure to follow us, subscribe, like Mick said, make sure to smash that button, and if you happen to be listening to us on a podcast, one of your favorite platforms, whether it be podcast, Spotify, that's the one, Apple, or any other, Stitcher, I don't know. You go ahead and choose. Make sure to give us a review of 5 stars and tell us how you feel. Whether you like us or not, you go ahead and let us know.
I love it. God damn. We were happy to be your friend too, Kathleen. And good job last night. I did FSF Popcast is their show. And I watched you guys. You did the Star Wars role play. You've been doing it once a month,
That's our third. That was session 3.
Yeah, but you've been doing it since May, since around the time of May the 4th. So once a month okay. So I did my math, and that is 3. It's been 3 months now. But yeah, you guys I've been watching. You guys did a good job. So very happy with that. And see, here's the problem with me watching though. And I think where it doesn't correlate for me is it looks cool.
Yeah.
And when I'm watching you guys play, I'm like, oh man, I'd like to play that. So I feel immediately outside of it, if that makes sense.
Oh, well, of course. But part of it is
still worth watching.
It's breaking that stigma of, because I have always struggled with I want to play with an RPG with people, but it's hard because there's a comfort level that has to be created. You have to be cool, becoming into different character and really selling the world to buy the experience. And it's one of those things that it's difficult to do sometimes, and it's weird to watch other people doing it, especially we're friends, and you know me, I jump into every character I can at any moment. So it's a blast, and it's something that I want other people to feel comfortable and hopefully understand that I am someone who have always struggled with that. I've never been great with it because it's weird to trust other people with that much of yourself. But you know what? The more you do it and the crazier you get, fuck it, it's way more fun.
No, and you know what? I agree, because we did it one time, not online.
Mm-hmm.
You and I did it with another group playing vampires, and I did it once, and I want to do it again, but it never took off, or I wasn't invited back. Let's just put it that way. I may not have been invited back.
Oh no, none of us were. Don't worry.
So there you go. All right, good.
It all blew up. It was great.
I wasn't blaming you. I'm just saying I don't know if I ever got invited back, if you kept going or not. I just know I played once. It took this time, and it took it was hard for me to fully comprehend it because I have had so many friends who play D&D and so many things. I always wanted to. I was never invited. And I think that was always because I played sports or I did something different, or I, just kind of like the lifestyle I led. Hung out with a lot of older people. So like my friends are like, he doesn't want to do this. And I'm like, I do. I'd like to be invited.
Well, of course. And there's a point of gatekeeping when there are people who fear someone else who is good at other things coming in and invading their thing. They're not okay with it. It freaks them out. And it's understandable, man. That's what happens. Sometimes
we
attach ourselves to such things that we're all about, like, this is my thing. You're here in my thing, and I don't know how you're going to react to me in my thing.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the beautiful things about you and I is we don't really give a shit about that.
Well, I resigned myself to not doing it again. And the reason being is not because I didn't dislike it. I really enjoyed it. I was like, this is cool. It's like acting in a play. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Is because I never know how far I can go. And how far I'm willing to go.
And that's the greatest part is when you're willing, when you're capable of allowing yourself to go as far as you're willing to go, that's enjoying the game because now you're enjoying it. Yeah. And all you want is a group of people who are all enjoying themselves playing a game. That's the whole idea, is trying to escape to that. But to get to do it in a social setting around other people is way fucking cooler than, most things you can do with your time. So don't be afraid of it, bro. Welcome.
No, you know me well enough. We did that virtual hug. On the 22nd, we'll be together to actually hug. We will actually probably be together before then, but on camera.
Uncomfortably, a lot of weird hugging. I will make sure to hug him on top of him. I will on top hug.
So here's my issue with playing role-playing games, RPGs like this, and going too far is because I annoy people because I am literally live my life as the epitome of Leroy Jenkins.
Well, that's better. I was afraid you were going to say a quarter mile at a time, but that's
always a quarter mile at a time, Casey. Oh. Always, but when I'm in the car, not here. So every time I go a quarter mile,
careful driver you are. I know it's such horse shit.
Every highway, I reach that quarter mile marker, and I'm like, "Yep, that's it." I just say, "Yep, I just did it. I just lived my life."
Made it.
Made it to that next one, and then but I can't count so good. So that way, when I get to the next quarter mile within that 10, I just wait until the quarter mile after the next free round.
Oh yeah.
But I am like Leroy Jenkins in that sense. It's like, wait, what can I do here? And like a lot of people will tell me, oh, well, you could just do anything. You could do this, you could do that. And I'm just like, can I just fight it? Well, I don't know why you'd want to. Like, you're not strong enough. You're not. Can I try? Yes, you can try. Yes, of course you can. That's a decision you can make.
That's a thing. But yes.
Let's do it.
Of course.
Let's set it on fire. Why? Why not?
I mean, I'm capable of it.
Because I can't do it in real life. So do it now. I'm burning this shit to the ground. My politics come into play. It's like, this guy's a scumbag. Let's burn it all down.
Oh my goodness. I could believe that.
But all parties need a Leroy or a murder hobo. That's true. That's fair.
It does.
I would be the guy who's like, there's corruption at Mos Eisley. Tear it down. Let's do this.
Go fuck shit up. I need justice.
I successfully campaign as Dio. That's the new Dio. And I just walk in. I'm just like, I'm the Dio now. You can't do that. You got to roll for it. Yeah, well, that's Dungeons & Dragons. I don't think you guys do it. Yeah, you do.
Oh yeah.
No, you don't roll. But what do you do for?
Oh no, we roll.
Oh, you do roll. Yeah.
I mean, you basically state the action you want to make. You roll to see how good you do it. Either you do it shitty or you do it great. And that's just what you do. That's the joy of an RPG. And I think there's a struggle to understand it's that easy. You can be the beauty that you are, my friend, and you can enjoy and embrace any goddamn character you choose and have a great time doing it.
No, I can't, and I can't do it with you. I can't play with you.
Why not?
Because I know exactly what would happen if we played together. I would be the guy that's like, I'm running in, I'm doing it. And for some reason, I keep making it. And then everybody gets pissed off that I keep doing this. And because there's somebody getting hurt along the way or something like that. And then they're going to want to quit me. And then you and all your Jake Gyllenhaal fashion and your beauty are going to say, I don't know how to quit you. And it's just going to be us. And then I'm going to get you killed. And that's not okay with me.
But it's going to be awesome along the way. Think of the
It'd be a
story,
story.
bro. That's what matters.
By the end of it, it's just like they told this epic tale. Yes, we did, motherfuckers. Yes, we did. Emphasis on the motherfuckers. Should have been here from the beginning.
Call back.
That's why I love the listeners. Listeners are right here from the beginning.
They know.
All right, let's segue this shit.
And now for something other.
I love it. We got to get a news report coming. Moving on.
And this is Kurt Loder coming to you live.
I gotta know, how old is that guy? Don't drink that. That's poison. So I was watching thrillers. I want to go to this because I want to talk about a couple things. I watched 13 thriller movies in like 4 days. 3 days really, because I watched Murphy's Law as the first one, and that was Thursday night.
Okay, well, of course you watched that. You're calling a Charles Bronson movie a thriller?
It was. No, 100% was, and I'm telling you. Okay, so if Ricochet is a thriller movie,
yeah,
which I watched too,
of course,
Murphy's Law is definitely a thriller movie.
Okay,
because it's not a death wish movie. It is very violent. It is very like it toes that line. You remember 10 to Midnight? That movie he did, it was a little bit different. There's like a killer he has to find by a certain time. Well, this is very much like that, and this is actually one of the better ones I thought. I really enjoyed in that sense because it went from he was a cop who got framed for killing his ex-wife by this crazy killer that he put away, and I'm not going to give any more away than that. And then now he had to escape prison. And like, there's a lot of goofiness to it too, because it is a Charles Bronson movie. But yeah, I thought it was well done, and like everybody dies. I was like, this is pretty rad. I was like, this is very different. And that sent me off. It was like, yeah, I'm in for suspense all weekend long, and yeah, I just kind of went with it. And
well, suspense or thrillers?
Suspense thrillers.
Okay, because good thrillers for me build suspense.
Yeah.
And you stay following it along because it's something that it doesn't have to be over the top murdery.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be all about the kills. I mean, I think Halloween for me is a great thriller movie. More than just a slasher.
Yeah, this is not I think suspense thrillers kind of go hand in hand, in my opinion. So,
okay.
And in that sense, like the ones that I watched were very suspense thriller heavy. Murphy's Law, again, wasn't a death wish. Death wish could be considered more of a thriller than like a horror movie.
Same with like Tightrope and kind of like Dirty Harry. Like, yeah, I get that.
Like even the first Death Wish is more of a thriller, whereas the rest of them were action.
Yeah, because you don't quite know. I think the important part of a thriller is following along with not knowing exactly who the killer is. Like,
yeah,
I go with like something the girl, Kiss the Girls. That is my quintessential thriller movie.
That is, yeah, I agree. But I also agree that it's like in the suspense world.
Oh, agreed. Yes, it's still because a good mystery is part of a good thriller.
Yeah,
you should have to. You don't always have to not know who they are, but you have to care enough about the story and not know all the story. You have to learn the story as you go. I think it's very important for a good thriller.
Well, I followed that up because I was like, all right, I've never seen that before. And if I want to continue down the line, I'm going to, and again, I wanted to toe that line between suspense and thriller. Originally, like I said, I was going to go between 70 and 99, but I really stuck in the 80s and 90s for it because I think those were the best times for them.
I'll agree. Yeah.
So for me, I went with The Firm as my next one.
Ooh.
which a lot of people were really like surprised I had never seen The Firm before. It's weird because I love Sidney Pollack.
Yeah, well, Sidney Pollack's amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big Sidney Pollack fan, so I was like, yeah, I'm kind of I'm all in on this, and especially I like Tom Cruise and everybody in it. Ed Harris is in it. Like this cast was insane.
The Firm's amazing. It's so in depth, and especially being like Grisham's peak.
Yeah,
I think in storytelling.
So I followed that up with The Rainmaker. I went with another Grisham.
Okay, that is my favorite though. That is
Really?
Matt Damon showing that he has chops beyond anyone who even knows who he is. Mickey Rourke is awesome in that.
It's very good. It is a very good movie.
Danny DeVito is fantastic. Claire Danes plays such an awesome and fucked up character who affected me when I was younger and didn't even realize that whole kind of respecting the perspective of the abused human, how other people, when they're hurt, how they react. She did that. Like, it was fantastic. Great movie, man.
Yeah, but then I went with another Grisham, went with Pelican Brief.
Okay, Pelican Brief, though, adds that element of there's danger around every corner.
Dude,
like,
that's why they're scary.
The Rainmaker is building up the thriller, like, are they going to complete the case? But then the Pelican Brief is like, are they going to fucking live? Like,
here's the thing that messed me up, though, is because I'm like, all this shit's real, though. Like the firm, like this, it's not like this firm they're just laundering money and working for the mob, and like they're willing to kill people to keep that going because they're making tons of money. Yeah, that makes sense. The Rainmaker, an insurance company defrauding its people and they're dying from sickness because they can't get money. Yeah, that's the whole point. Universal
what
health
they do.
No.
Yeah.
Pelican Brief. 2 Supreme Court justices were murdered because they were and I'm not advocating for this. I'm saying, like, the scary part is, like, with as mad as people get, or these big, in that sense, they were like going to vote against a big oil company and they had him assassinated. It's like big business. Yeah, absolutely. That's terrifying.
That's like Fletch too.
Yeah. And then like they go after the girl who kind of figured it out, and wrote a paper on it for college. And like, it's crazy. I love how Denzel plays the press in it, and the press is the hero. That vastly changed,
big time.
And then I had to cleanse my palate a little bit. I went with Black Rain, the Ridley Scott movie from what was it called? With Michael Douglas, Ridley Scott movie with Andy Garcia was in it, where the 2 cops from New York have to bring a Yakuza. Mob guy there, and it just becomes like it's more action packed, but it is very much a suspense thriller.
But I think it's much more along the suspense of what I think of that classical. That there was a 90s suspense spin on a lot of things where you had all the political thrillers. I think was a thing like Arlington Road, and all of those kinds of movies along those lines. So there was a lot of that. Clear and Present Danger.
But really,
the
only reality in that one was like the cops were assholes and dirty.
That was
And I'm not even saying all cops. I'm just saying that exists. It's
just
real.
A few bad apples that spoil the bunch. Yep.
So that was where I finished off. That was Friday night.
Okay, what'd you jump into next? The big
Saturday morning, I went with the Clint Eastwood movie. In the Garden of Good and Evil. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Okay, great movie. I really struggle with Kevin Spacey in any movie on screen ever again now for going forward.
You mean the most realistic part of that movie? And how he was playing a gay man who didn't want to be outed.
Yeah.
And murdered his lover, who was a young boy.
Yep.
I mean, now we know. I mean, I don't think Kevin Spacey murdered anybody. I don't know for a fact or anything, but I do know that it is very close to life imitating art, or art imitating life.
Yeah, I mean, that was the tough part, though. Was one of my favorite movies. Younger Spacey.
I liked it. It was well acted, and the story wasn't terrible. It was just long and drawn out a lot. It wasn't even a slow burn. It was just kind of long.
Yeah, there were just scenes that were a little extra and unnecessary that they
Yeah.
helped build. And sure, if you want a nice, strong building, big chill kind of feel cast, they did a
Yeah.
good job with that.
And there was no real suspense to it because you never
Mm,
felt like John Cusack's character was in danger or anybody
yeah.
was really in danger. It was just more of a courtroom drama.
It was
Uh,
much more the thriller mystery if you're going thriller like Agatha Christie, like Death on the
yeah,
Nile. You know,
yeah,
it's more
yeah.
that similar thriller, which I like. It's fun. I'm with you.
So doing that one and watching that, and I will say this: I love the way they've portrayed Savannah in it. It is gorgeous, and you just want
It
to
is
go
beautiful,
and run
man.
there.
One of my favorite places to be, if only one for the humidity.
Yeah, well, that's coming north anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, so I followed that one up with Ricochet,
Ooh,
which I loved. I really
yeah.
loved Ricochet. I've seen Virtuosity. I've never seen Ricochet before, so I was very excited to have a chance to see it. Um, so I watched that. That's a John Denzel Washington movie where he plays a cop who becomes assistant DA and he becomes this big hotshot in the city of LA. But his first big case where he put away this like crazy maniac played by John Lithgow. The guy has just spent 10 years in prison just planning and plotting against him to ruin his life. Like, doesn't even want him to die. He was like, he's going to ruin his life. And he goes to the extents to do it.
Well, I always felt like Ricochet was that basically Cape Fear times 10. Because Cape Fear
Yeah.
is basically just a stalking, a fucking with you, like I'm here, I'm not here, I'm always around, like who could I hurt? Ricochet was much more the I'm going to find my way to destroy you in the weirdest, craziest roundabout way, and absolutely like it's messed up.
Yeah, it is really messed up. And the things they do to this poor guy. And the thing I really liked about it was at the end, none of his people who were like, oh, you're the greatest, you're the best guy around. But when he was being framed, all of Lindsay Wagner's DA character and the mayor and all that stuff, like they would turn their backs on him quick.
Mm-hmm.
His wife even turned her back on him quick. But it was that guy, that gangbanger played by Ice-T in the beginning, who stepped up in the end and was like, we're going to protect this guy because this is where he comes from. This is what we know him from. And he didn't do this.
Yeah.
And like him and the rest of the gang went and saved him. And in the end, he realized that and was just like, you know what? Let's play basketball later. Because like at that point, he's like, you're the one that stuck up for me. Fuck everybody else, So I really dug that. So I went with Denzel again. This is my third. After that, I went with Devil in the Blue Dress.
Okay. Yeah.
My third
Classic.
Denzel thriller movie. And it was so good. It's a Carl Franklin movie. It was so good. It takes place in the 40s. He's playing a detective. Well, he's like a private. He's acting.
He's a PI. It's that was thriller noir, which that one very much puts us in the thriller of like, Maltese Falcon and all of those Vertigo, North by Northwest. It all kind of fits in that for thriller movies for me.
Yeah, and it was a really well done one. It's well acted. Everybody does a great job in it. I really enjoyed it. So that was next up, and then I went with a sort of a different movie, The Player. After that,
okay,
that's the Tim Robbins movie where he's the Hollywood producer, and there's a writer who's threatening him by sending him postcards, and so he goes and he tries to find the writer. And the guy he finds who hates him, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, he kills him. And he finds out that wasn't the writer that was threatening his life.
Whoops.
So, dude, everybody, every A-list star or star, every actor was in this freaking movie. It was a Robert Altman movie. Everybody was in it. It was all right. It wasn't bad. I didn't mind it, but I was like, whatever. So next up on that, I went with so my next one was Rising Sun, which we talked about, and I like that one when I understand it better, especially. Then I went with the Presidio. It's a good movie.
Presidio is great. Mark Harmon is wonderful. I think everyone acted very well, and I think it was one of those movies that kind of flew under the radar somehow. It wasn't as big as I feel like it should have been. I thought it was as good as A Few Good Men, procedurally and thriller-wise, telling a good mystery.
Yeah.
So,
well, I thought it was good. And again, like they dealt a lot with the relationships between our heroes, our protagonists in it.
Mhm.
And the antagonists were kind of very secondary. Like,
Yeah.
and I like that it was different.
Yeah.
So like after all of it, where you're just like you kind of see the back and forth of everybody, I was like, okay, this is different. I kind of dig this.
Almost along the lines of, say, Red Heat.
No, so no, I'm not giving you that one. Actually, I think our next we have to shoot our next plot roast. We got another what do you call it?
Dolph Lundgren?
A Dolph Lundgren movie
Yes.
from one of our Chris, our Patreon listener.
Chris.
I forget what it was.
God,
It was I think it
hope
was the
it's
one
Red
with the
Heat.
aliens. I can't remember. I'll find out for you. So I'll find out for you guys soon. But it is another Dolph Lundgren movie, so I'm looking forward to it.
That's exciting.
But my final two movies that I watched this weekend, Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh my God. Okay, I love Blue Steel.
Catherine
Blue
Bigelow
Steel is
movie.
one of my favorites, bro.
It's a great movie. It's a
Great
great
movie.
movie.
And I got scared, like the way the lighting was done, the way they shot that movie, it was really well done. And they really got intense with some certain lovemaking scenes that made you uncomfortable. Like,
Oh,
that
100%.
was so well done to make you kind of, you're in Jamie Lee Curtis's head. Like, as she's
They fuck with
being
that
made love
character so bad.
to. Like, it's a really weird, fucked up thing, but that was so well done. What a great pick, bro.
It's I've always I remember playing on TV a lot as a kid, and I never really got into watching it.
Same.
So, and when I heard, I never knew that Catherine Bigelow, because it was never like a big deal.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't always come out and talk about it. So I was like, I want to check this out because I do like Jamie Lee Curtis. Now Catherine Bigelow, I want to see what one of her first movies is like. Hands down, people should watch this movie. My last two picks, I say everybody should watch.
Okay.
All of these movies, Blue Steel and my last pick that I watched, should watch. And let me tell you guys, Clancy Brown plays her partner in the movie. And it's probably his most straight-laced, he's not creepy in it at all.
There is no weirdness. There's no creepiness. One of the coolest parts about him is he's almost relatable. Like a guy who should be creepy, but you can talk to. Like he's just a dude. He's not the Kurgan. You know, I mean, we had seen him as the goddamn Kurgan. And then you see him in Blue Steel, and it's like,
but like he's a good-looking leading man in it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I liked about it. I'm like, this is not your obvious choice, because Ron Silver plays a psychotic killer in it, and you're like, this is the dude that should be playing the partner.
And that's why they did that. And I think Blue Steel was one of those movies that was a little bit ahead of its time, choosing different characters, different leading people, you know, and really telling a story from a different perspective. Like, you feel the fear from Jamie Lee Curtis. You feel the terror of, I have to just walk outside today. Like oh my God, it was done so well.
Every time he showed up at here's what bugs me. On IMDb, it's rated as a 5.7 out of 10. This movie is a fucking great thriller.
Yeah.
And 100%, I think everybody should watch it.
Yeah. Now, look, it's a lot. I'm gonna say it is a lot because they throw a lot of colors. This was almost trying to be artistic, but telling a great story artistically.
And it's not afraid to pull punches.
For that. Sorry.
It is not afraid to pull punches. They kill people in that movie. In other movies, you would never see get killed.
100%. This was not a studio standard at the time.
Yeah,
and I think it deserves more love and credit for what they did with it.
And I think having the main character be a woman, and it was directed by a woman, they made the right choices there. The reason I say that is because the people that they killed, the way that he was trying to completely dismantle her and destroy her life, like going back to Ricochet and seeing like how they did it, and it's very, all of the points that they used in that movie, which is very similar, the two, and even Murphy's Law, they were all very similar. But because they were directed by men and they starred men, it was things that you predict they would go with. But because this was a female director and a female star of the movie, and she is the star, she is the forefront.
Oh yeah, 100%. You were following her.
Yeah, the way she's being dismantled and torn apart and not believed by anyone,
Right.
even though she's a cop and
They're
on the force.
literally fucking writing it off to the whole "you're a woman" thing.
Yeah.
And it's almost that struggle. It's like you're drowning the whole time, screaming for air, and it should be clear right in front of you, like, "Hey guys, you can't see, I'm drowning, I'm right here."
Even
And
Clancy Brown
yeah.
didn't want to be stuck with her.
Yep.
Because and then when he was, and he started seeing like, oh shit, this is real. This is happening. And he's in it to do it. And
Yep.
then like what happens with his character and everything. Like anybody who hasn't seen this movie, this is a movie you should definitely go and check out.
Yeah, this is absolute. I have to say, for all the thrillers, one of the reasons I wish we could go longer on this conversation. We're already running past time.
It's our show.
But I mean, fair. Now, one of the things with a great thriller is most of the thrillers have stuck with me longer than the horror movies.
Right.
Because
they're scarier.
If you're a good thriller, then you've enticed me by getting me into the story, the characters, something has locked me in. In a good horror movie, I just want to believe the characters are going to fucking mutilate. That's all I want. But if you're giving me a thriller horror, you've given me something that's enticed me. I'm excited. There's a mystery. There's something that's kept me going. I like these characters. I'm curious as to what's going to happen. You don't have to kill 40 people. You can kill one on screen. You don't even have to. You could probably make them 20, kill them off screen, and just leave me questioning. That's a good thriller.
And I think that's the difference between thriller and horror, suspense thrillers and horror, is because you're not going to get them at a young age. Horror you get at a young age because you don't know the world yet.
Yeah.
You don't know how the wheels are turning. You're figuring it out. So an in-your-face type of horror that's really put out there is a scary thing to you. Because now I go back and I watch a lot of horror movies and I'm like, it's not scary. It's good. It's well-maintained. The effects were great.
It's
the
fun.
Acting's a lot of fun.
I have a lot of fun in horror movies,
and I'm not afraid of it anymore, so I can revisit it over and over. You watch a thriller at our age, like this, like things like that, like where your mind is being dismantled. That's why I think a lot of people, and for me especially, The Shining wasn't. I didn't fear The Shining until I got older.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still fear watching like Remember the Titans because wind sprints. But we all fear things differently.
No, but just things like that. Like you kind of revisit it, and I think that's why I think I agree with. I know I agree with you. With thrillers and suspense are much scarier. Mm-hmm. Especially, I just think as you get older, because it's like you understand it more. You understand the Pelican Brief because it reflects everything you're going through in life right now. Right. You understand movies like The Firm because you're like, oh, wow. I've been at that job where they're doing shady shit. And like, maybe I'm not going to get killed for it, but it's that intensity that makes you feel like he is. That's some of Tom Cruise's best acting.
Oh, well, I mean, that's fair. The thriller is something that allows you to associate with someone and go, what if when they leave talking to me, they close that door and go do something shady and completely horrific? Like it's like American Psycho, I think, is brilliant for that. It opened all of our eyes to, we're all fucking crazy. Those are thoughts that you legitimately have had. Bret Easton Ellis just brought it to your attention. Like everybody has had that fucking thought.
You're 100% right.
At some point, everyone's had a super fucked up thought about someone else, and that's okay. And that's what a good thriller does is say, hey, what if this fucked up thought was a thing? Like, what if that actually happened and now we had to go chase that guy? Like,
and you know what the crazy part about it is too? Now, the last movie, which is far from removed from what we were when we were kids, was my favorite. And I hadn't heard about it. I was watching Blue Seal was supposed to be my last.
Okay. I've heard of Lucille. I haven't watched it.
You did watch Blue Steel.
Hmm?
You've seen Blue Steel. You just said it.
Oh, Blue Steel. I thought you said Lucille.
Oh, no. Blue Steel was supposed to be my last movie of the weekend.
Yeah, fair.
I heard about it.
Amazing. I love Blue Steel.
I heard about a movie halfway through Blue Steel for the first time, and I'd never heard about it before in my life. And I said, I'm making this my last, and I'm watching it. And it was by far my favorite of the weekend. It's called Miracle Mile. It stars Anthony Edwards. He plays a guy. He's just like a musician. He's in LA. He's doing a tour. And he meets this girl. He falls in love with her. And he's about to leave town to go back out on the tour. And he wants to see her. And she works at a diner. And he's like, all right, I'm going to come down. I'll meet you there. You get off at midnight and then we'll go out and go dancing. She goes, okay, great. his power in his hotel goes out and he misses his alarm. He doesn't get there till like 4 a.m. She's gone by now. She went home. Can't get a hold of her because he doesn't know where she lives. They always met out. And it was new. So like he's like trying to figure it out. She works at the diner, so he goes there straight to figure it out. And there's a payphone right outside and the phone rings. And he just picks it up because he had just tried to call the number the waitress gave him inside. And he picks it up thinking it's her, and it's some guy on the phone. He goes, "We just launched. We should see return launch and total decimation in about 70 minutes. Dad, I love you. I'm not supposed to be calling." And it's a guy calling his dad from a missile silo.
Yeah, no, I caught that.
I'm telling everybody who's watching and listening. I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, but I'm not telling you. So it's his guy calling his dad, and he's on the line. He's like, "What are you talking?" He's like, "Ah, damn it, I got the wrong area code. Tell my dad I love him." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And like he's telling him, it's like, "It's total decimation. They're coming," And then somebody on the line comes in. He's like, "Who are you speaking to?" Blah, blah, and they shoot the guy. And they pick up the phone. They're like, "Don't listen to anything he just told you," and hang up. So now he's like, "What the?" And like he's like, "What is this? Like, is this real?" And he goes in. He's kind of freaking out in a diner, and he starts talking to people. And there's a businesswoman working there, played by Tasha Yar. What's her name? Denise Crosby. She's in there. Yep, in her total Tasha Yar haircut and everything.
Awesome. Well, I mean, that was like her most famous haircut.
Yeah. So like supposedly she goes to there early every day because I guess she served with the guy who owns the diner, and like, but she's working on stuff and blah 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 blah. So like he goes in there, he starts freaking out, and he's like, "I just heard this, and this is what I was told." She starts asking questions, so she knows a little too much. And when he tells her, she's like, "All right, here's what has to happen. This is happening. It's coming. Los Angeles is an overkill place. They're gonna destroy it. We got to get out of here. I know a plane." Like she's on her phone, like she's getting it all set up so they can take off. And there's only a few people in the diner, so she's like, "You guys come with me if you want. There's enough room, but we're heading to like Antarctica or whatever it was at the time." But now this guy is going to set out to try and find his girl and get back to the helicopter that will take them to the thing in time, because he has the 70 minutes to do it. And the whole thing is about him going around town, like in a very frantic state, trying to find her apartment, trying to get her out, trying to get back to the helicopter that's at the helipad, and then like get out in time. It's intense. You watch this and you're like, "Oh man, this could be very haphazard." It gets intense and it gets crazy.
I mean, that sounds like a couple days from the Condor.
I've like 3 days from the Condor. I like
3 days from the Condor. Like there's a lot of movies that do that, man. Spy thriller kind of thing.
But it's not a
One
spy
Last
thriller.
Thing. Of Final Days. Like there's.
I think you should give this one a chance, man.
All right.
This one's different. This one, because it's not people who know what they're talking about. It's just some guy trying to figure out the best way to do whatever it is he's doing.
Well, that's why I like a lot of the movies that I just described. It's people who are just like, they get notified on a radio of like, you have 5 hours left. It's like,
yeah. Well, no, but
that,
like 3 days of the Condor, he is a spy. Like, they're
that
like,
one, yes,
they're
that one, yes.
in it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, him, it's like, this dude is just like, "I'm a fucking jazz musician. What are you talking about?" Like, and and the whole town goes into chaos because it just spreads.
Yeah.
Everything spread. And like to see, because it's a 70-minute movie or it's an 80-minute movie, and 10 minutes in, he gets that phone call. So like it's 70 minutes from me. So you watch his whole like story. So I just thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. But like the intensity of all of it.
Well, that's the part that thrillers always do really well.
Yeah.
I think like Last Night in Soho, is one of the more recent ones that has really shown that explicitly. But I think thrillers are definitely one of those underappreciated. It's one of my favorite subgenres, actually genres. No, thrillers are genres. And I love thrillers. I think they're scarier because they should entice you. They should make you love the character more. They should make you follow the character more, should make you more sold into the story.
Yeah.
And that's why a good thriller is scary, but a good horror movie is jump scares and crazy shit. Like a Grudge probably dances the line of that thriller horror movie, because it's coming, but it's going to have the jump scare. So you're thrilled and terrified because you also want to know whatever the backstory is because this dude jumped off a building, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's the thing. But I think they all have their place. And I think it's a mature type of horror.
Yeah,
that really works. And that's not taking, and anybody who's a horror fan, we're giant horror fans here. So like, we're not taking away and saying that horror films are immature, but there is an ideal that there is an immaturity to them.
Well, I mean, I think we can all agree that Critters is not fucking Shakespeare in Love.
No, right? But I mean, there's going to be people who argue for,
which I'm going to argue for Critters against most movies. But at the same token, that's part of the joy of horror, is there's so many different types of horror movies. Thrillers, they overlap. There's a thriller and a horror overlap. And I think any movies that are more towards the thriller side of the horror spectrum are my favorites. Yeah. That's where I reside. And I like anything that's mystery. Anything that has a really good story that I'm interested in, I want to uncrack. I have to know what this is. I have to understand what is going on. And that's something that thrillers do, whether it be in a character or a story or whatever the general plot points they have going forward. When they keep you locked in, the scares can mean more. Whereas just murdering and slashing, which is some of my favorite stuff, is also not necessarily going to be the most enticing all the time.
Yeah. No, I agree. And
not the scariest. Like, because at some point you go, look, if that honestly happened, well, I'd fight that guy. I'd take him and I'd punch that bear in the face. I'd have his machete in my freaking hands and I'd be chapping him up. It'd be no big deal. So, like, there's that always happens with the level of horror movies. But with thrillers, you don't know. Because what if you're the person who's trapped in the closet and you're just waiting for something to come by?
Or
what if it's the person?
No.
Inside the same locker room.
You don't get to gloss over the punching the bear in the face thing and pretend it's not me that you're making fun of.
Well, I mean, I'm not making fun of you. You're totally capable of punching bears.
You son of a bitch.
Well, once. You could punch a bear once. No one's taking that away from you, bro.
I punch bears multiple times. I think we all know this.
No, you have a death aura, and we've definitely covered that.
Fair enough. All right. Man. Well, I'll say this. I think this was a lot of fun. This good time talked about. I definitely love thrillers, and I need to find more to watch. I'm running out, I think, because of ones I haven't seen.
No chance, bro. I got too many for you.
All right, send them my way. But stick to that level of 90s and 80s and 90s. I want to stick there for a little while.
Oh, bro, I got plenty for you.
Sounds good.
I mean, Atomic Blonde is the only more recent one that I would recommend that I think is a good.
I love Atomic Blonde.
But that's a spy thriller. So there's spy thrillers. There's horror.
There's subgenres.
There's lots of subgenres. We're going to sub this genre the fuck out. Until then, Mick, tell them how we go.
Listen, guys, just go check out if you're interested in any one of our affiliates, Noom, BarkBox, Super Chewer, or Skillshare. Go check them out in the descriptions below or on thescenesnobs.com. But guys, follow us, join our Discord. We had a really fun time, Masters of the Universe watch party this Saturday over on the Discord. Our buddy Dan was showing it, and we all had the chat going on. We did Sunday Scares last night, and we showed Friday the 13th Part 2 and Nightmare on Elm Street 3 double feature over on the Discord. So we're having a really fun time with it. Make sure you're joining in the conversations. Have a good time. Our Patreon is lit. Plot Roast is coming out with another episode coming very soon. But go check out our older episodes. We have a review of Thor up. Our Plot Roast of Masters of the Universe is up. We got a ton of stuff. So go to the YouTube channel. Make sure to like, make sure to follow, make sure to hit notifications, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. But I'm going to let Casey take this away. All I'll say is just check out thescenesnobs.com for all those links and more.
We thank you so much for joining us tonight, or today during the morning, whatever time you happen to be listening to us. We appreciate and hope we made your hour a little bit more fun and a little bit lighter, and your world had a little better ray of sunshine, because you certainly helped us. So we appreciate you. Make sure to join us, like, subscribe, do all that fancy stuff, and remember to take care of yourself and be kind to each other. Thank you.
All right. Like I said, I can't do it better myself. So stay geeky, stay tuned, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest Live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our Linktree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky. Seriously, follow us. Don't be lame. Come hang out with us at all times. Why not? Join the community.
Do all the things.